What up, Fightful fam? Shakiel Mahjouri. You can call me Shaq, here today with Vinc Pichel from Hell. One of the best nicknames, the scariest nicknames in all of MMA. Staying hydrated and dealing with the crazy drivers of LA. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, Shaq? Good to see you,
I'm
brother.
good, doing great, man. Now, I have to ask, and this is an important question. I'm sure you get this all the time. Where is the E in Vince?
Oh, my name?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll explain it to you. When I was a little kid, in my mom used to call me Vinci.
Mm.
So when I learned how to write my name, I took Vince with the E as Vinci. So I took the E off, thinking, okay, that's Vince.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then my whole life, everyone's like, that's not how you spell Vince. That's how you spell Vince. So I basically just said, fuck yourself. It's my name. I spell how I want. Like, what I mean, mind your business. And so I just never changed it. So up until, I don't know, like first grade or something, I've been spelling it this way. My full name is actually Vincent.
Yeah. I was like, well, that's great, man. What a story. Was your mom surprised when she, saw your name on a report card or something? I was like, what?
Oh no, because they always put Vincent. It was always Vincent for them.
All right, gotcha. Now,
my full name.
Looking at your fight, you're taking on Jim Miller here at UFC 252 on August 15th. The UFC does this thing where they like to kind of group up a number of fighters. And so Roosevelt Roberts is someone who you've shared the octagon with, Jim Miller shared the octagon with. If you're being honest, who do you think has the more impressive win over Roberts, yourself or Miller?
Miller, because he subbed him, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I dominated him, but Miller subbed him. But let me see. I'll say Miller has the easier win, but I have the more dominant win.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. I appreciate the honesty. You have been a veteran of the sport for quite a while, but when you look at Jim Miller, like, that dude is a bona fide legend. He's fought just about everyone. He keeps winning. It's kind of crazy. What does it mean for you to fight someone who has the resume of a Jim Miller?
It means a lot, honestly. It's a step up for me a little bit, I think. In my eyes, I feel like this fight is one of those fights where, like, if I win, everyone's like, damn, you won, right? But then if I lose, people are like, oh, well, you should have lost that fight anyway, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I'm picking up the fight. Jim Miller's a super tough, scrappy dude. He's fought the best dudes. He's beaten the best dudes. And we're both old men, right? I think he's 36, I'm 37. So I think it's just like a battle of the old men, round robin, to see who will win after the two guys just beat Roberts. So that's kind of like what my thought of it on it is.
So that's an interesting note. Obviously, you guys are both, in your mid to late 30s, but you have been far less active. We have got far smaller record. A lot of that has to do with an injury that you suffered that we'll talk about a little bit later. But where do you think your body is in terms of mileage compared to Miller?
Honestly, I feel like I don't really know because I don't know the guy, but my body, I feel pretty good, honestly. Like, I've beat the hell out of my body, and I've done some shit over the years, right? But aside from my surgeries that I've only gotten since I've been in the UFC, like, I've had both my shoulders done. I've had surgery in my face a few times. I just had hip surgery. So aside from that, like, my body hasn't really taken too much damage besides, like, bumps and bruises, right? Like, nothing too crazy. I've never broken a bone, nothing like that. And I don't know about Miller. I don't know, like, his history or the kind of abuse he put his body through, but I know my body feels great, and I know he just came off fighting Lyme disease, and he said that he feels good too, and his body starts to come back and get explosiveness back, which I'm honestly happy for, right? Because I want a good fight out of him, and I expect it to be a hard fight. I feel like I might have a little bit of advantage, damage-wise and durability in body.
MMA is a funny sport when multiple surgeries is like an easy day at the office. Talking about advantages, if you had to assess yourself and Miller, what is the biggest advantage you each possess going into this fight?
So, just being honest, he's definitely got the advantage on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a better jiu guy. He's got more wrestling than me. But stand-up, I feel like I have a bigger advantage stand-up than he has a bigger advantage grappling with me. That's how I honestly feel the fight between us, the matchup is. He's definitely got a better advantage of me on the ground. He's a well-known jiu guy. He subs some of the best guys. I have 0 subs. Not that I don't have submissions, but I'm like he is with it, right? But
yeah,
I'm more of a knockout kind of person, so I feel like he's got the advantage. It's kind of like a grappler versus striker kind of game.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I really don't like asking the question. I don't really like to ask about your prediction on how you're going to win the fight, but I am always curious. For you, what is a good performance? Are you the kind of guy that wants to go out there, get a quick, easy KO, cash in, or is the octagon experience going a full 15 minutes something you really value?
I honestly, it's going to sound kind of stupid, but I honestly would love a quick, easy KO, right? But
yeah.
On the other end, I would love it to be more of just a knockdown, drag-out brawl between me and him, right? That's what I'm looking for, because that's the kind of fight that I feel like I'm going to test myself. I'm going to test him, and the fans are going to let it, obviously, right? Like, fans, a lot of people don't know nothing about grappling, so if it turns into a grappling match, which I'm kind of, I don't think, expecting it to turn into if he had his way, the fans aren't really going to enjoy that, right? They're going to think it's a boring fight, even though as a fighter, I think, like, I like watching grappling matches because then I learn from it, right? And you see things from different guys. But if it's a knockdown, drag-out battle, which I'm hoping it'll be, and even if it's a tough fight, I'd rather much have that than easy win, easy KO, especially over Jim Miller.
Yeah, and let me give kudos to the UFC commentators, whether it be Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg or Daniel Cormier, Dominic Cruz. I like that when I watch fights now with a crowd in attendance and you see someone go from side control to mount, there's a pop. So I appreciate that the fans, they're slowly starting to get what the grappling's all about.
Yeah. I honestly really miss Goldberg and Rogan being together.
Yeah, was that your favorite coupling?
I'm not a fan of Bisping. Bisping's a total biased commentator. It's kind of absurd how biased he is towards fighters, and honestly pisses me off sometimes. It's like, dude, you're a fucking dumbass. Like, shut your mouth. But it is what it is,
Do you think Mike's bias is like towards certain fighters or a particular kind of fighting? Like, how would you assess that?
I honestly think it's the type of fighter and maybe his friends, right? Like people he likes. I mean, bias is bias, right? So
yeah.
And that's why I really like Rogan and Goldberg, because I feel like there really wasn't much bias between those two with any fighters. It was kind of like, oh, this guy's winning the fight now. Oh no, this guy's winning the fight now, right? It was like, that's why I really respect Rogan because he tells it like it is. And I mean, Goldberg doesn't really know shit about MMA. He's been commentating for like 30 fucking years, but he's still a fun guy when he's with Rogan, right? They're a good couple together.
A good couple. Yeah, and anytime you start going down the route of getting former fighters on the commentary booth, there's always all those relationships that you got to keep in mind. It kind of comes to the territory. Last thing for you, Vince, before I let you go here. You did have a big layoff. I think it was 3 years that you were recovering from your injuries. What was the biggest benefit of that? Like, what did you learn from it, or how do you think that in some ways could have benefited your career for looking at it half glass full?
Honestly, that whole time I was still kind of training and working on myself. I was going through a lot of really hard things in my life, personally, emotionally, on top of like the surgery. So I was kind of just having my own little battle with myself in my life. But the biggest benefit I think I got from that was when I came back, no one knew what to expect from me. No one knew the kind of fighter I've been, because you see these fighters who they'll fight and then a couple months later down they fight again, right? And not much is going to change between that guy. Like, there's not much you can learn or change in your habits in that small amount of time. So I feel like that was the biggest benefit for me. Coming back after 3 years, people being like, we have no fucking clue what this guy's going to come out and do, right? And then, of course, when I came back, I knocked out Damian Brown, which was really good. But I think that was the biggest benefit I got from that, was just not having other fighters not know what to expect from me. And I actually had a lot of fights get declined when I was trying to come back, too.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been because of that, because people just didn't know. Like, I mean, I'm a dangerous fighter. I'm a dangerous fight for anyone, but I think a lot of people didn't know what to expect out of me, and they didn't want to really take that chance,
Vince, I want to thank you so much for the time today. You fight Jim Miller at UFC 252 on August 15th. Got the Dan Severn stash going, or the Don Fry stash, whichever you prefer. Best of luck with your fight, and best of luck with the LA traffic, my man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one.